Hey guys, okay, let's do this. I've been hearing this for quite a bit. I'm tired of hearing it. Let's stop. Let's stop it. What up? What up? What up? And welcome. I do need to get water, but as you may notice, very rather quickly looking at my inventory, I am farming harbingers and beyond. And the reason for that is, well, it's just a lot of monsters to kill. And by having a lot of monsters to kill, I I'm gonna gain XP. Lots and lots of it. So that is what we're going to continue doing today. But before we do that, I do want to craft a pair of explode chest pieces for, or an explode chest piece for this guy, this big guy. And in terms of my skill tree since yesterday, I have made some adjustments. Mostly I am going to be going for some defenses, but and I did go for effect, but I think I went up for effect on stream. In any case, what I want to do is I want to get some jewel sockets as well. I have this, some low hanging fruit I need to fill out with jewels, and the jewels I haven't decided what I want, but I think accuracy and flat lightning / cold would be ideal, and of course some life in there as well. But yeah, that's going to be what we're going to do today. And then once we're done crafting, I will showcase a map in his current setup, how it is. And then we're going to switch to the explode chest, and we're going to go from there. There is also this video I want to check out, but I do kind of have an idea of what he's going to talk about, which is the Bound by Destiny and how that allows you to go full conversion with LA to Fizz and lightning and, you know, all the other full conversion tech, and how the jewel enables potentially purity full conversion to fire. Actually, there was a different video that said that, which I haven't watched, and I should watch it, but I haven't thus far. But anyways, I'm going to check that video out in a bit, but we're going to start out with the crafting. And the first things first for the craft is we need to buy 2 chest pieces, one with additional curse and one with additional curse is hunter. So we're going to open craft of exile to make sure we have our base eye levels correctly. But I think for explode T1, I do believe it requires level 85, but I could be wrong. So let's say Crusader, explode 35, yeah, 85 for T1. So we need level 85 for this. We're going to be getting eye level 85 plus bases. For hunter influence, this is going to be the base we're looking for, because that would give us additional curse. Easy to craft one is going to be royal plate. Which is the best full armor chest piece there. Armor doesn't matter. If I can, I find one with quality 24. Not like it matters too much, but since we have a determination aura, we are not going to be spending that much. All right, I said I should check. I checked. It is not affordable, so we're going to be buying any random hunter chest in that case. I guess if we really wanted to do get quality, we would get a quality regular and then hunter exalted orbit. That would end up being what we do. But yeah, I level 85 royal plates. This guy is going to have the additional curse. We've gotten 10 annals already, which is kind of nice. I want to keep the main loot from this farm in my inventory just so I can keep track of it. We haven't gotten any good tainted anyways. No dice. And the next thing we're going to do is going to find a full ES base. Thank you. We're going to find full evasion base with Crusader influence, same eye level. Actually, I don't know if this requires eye level or not, but full EV to make it a tad bit cheaper to get what we want. Of course, no corruption or anything like that. The reason we are going for full evasion is so that we can reforge Fizz and remove PDR as a potential mod we can roll, which any base that has armor has as an option. This by nature of how it works increases the likelihood of hitting explode. Thank you. All right, so at level 85, phase damage taken as lightning, Crusader only, Hunter only. So what we're going to do here is preemptively we're going to look at phase. We're going to see it gives yellow juice because I kind of already knew that, but good to know. Going to buy like 3D in yellow juice, and it's only going to be 18k because my goodness. All right. Now I'm going to reforge Fizz until this guy gives me what I want. Before I actually reforge Fizz, there is something else I want to do, which is Orb of Dominance, because I do want to elevate it. It is like 5 divines, it looks like. 24 for 5. I don't need that many, man. I don't think my luck is that shite. What I'm going to do is I'm going to buy 2 for 10, I guess. Reforge Fizz until we get T1 explode. Basically, we're just going to click this until we get a very long window, which typically tells us like it's explode, but it has to be over 20% for it to be T1. We don't care about doing anything with anything less than T1. Because if you try to elevate T2, you get T1. You need to get T1, 11%, 14%. Only 2 things that can have a longer window are, okay, there are a few things that can have, but longer window is typically face damage taken as, or it is explode, and explode has a much larger window than damage taken as. For the most part, you don't even really need to pay attention to what is written. You kind of can get the gist of the window from its size. There, that's a T1. It has no other Crusader mod. It also does not have. What we're going to do here is going to exalt it twice. The reason we're going to exalt it twice is to reduce the chance of annulling my one prefix that I want. Yeah, I didn't get what I was hoping for. So I'm going to annul. I'm going to pray it hits a suffix. It's a 1 in 6, my dude, and you fucking hit the one I wanted. I didn't want you to hit. Okay. Okay. We're getting the bad luck out of the way now. We didn't spend this, which is fine. You know, get the bad luck out. 18 is not up to 20, or it's not up to 21, so we try again. Suffixes are free this time, so we are chilling. Now, let's look at Craft of Exile real quick. If I reforge crit, I can get a Crusader mod. And now we have a T1. We're going to prefixes can't be changed. So we're going to reforge crit. That should guarantee me a modifier. That is power charge on crits, and then we have explode over there. Now we're going to slap this. Rage. Woohoo! First try, let's go. See what I meant? We got the bad luck out the way early. So now, this guy has explode, and he's in a spot I do like. For this one, we need to give this guy additional curse, but that's kind of on the easy side. We just go cast if I remember correctly. And then you have additional curse. We don't need to elevate it or anything like that. It's just, I think it's the only caster mod or something like that. So actually, I don't know if it's the only one, but I do know it's either this or like one more choice, something like that. Now all we need is an Awakener Orb. And I just need to buy one with Chaoses. Three is about 660. Not quite 4, because 4 will be 8 something. Damn. I buy 2 for 7. Then I'll sell these 2 for Chaoses. Just to confirm, only one Hunter mod, and that is additional curse. Only one Crusader mod, and that's the elevated. Alright. We're going to do this onto the base we want. Boom. Now we have explode, we have additional curse. We have a third prefix that we can't do anything about. So what we're going to do now, prefixes cannot be changed. We can either reforge chaos, which I'm not entirely sure we need chaos res here to cap his chaos res, but I will check. So this is going to be my GG chess piece, more or less. I just want to make sure it's fine. Change the command, items, CoC, AG. Yeah, it doesn't need this to copy his chaos res unless we remove grave intentions, which so far I have no intention of, no pun intended, but I have no intention of removing grave intentions. So if I were to remove that, then the chaos res here would help. But saying as I don't plan on, we're just going to reforge physical. Yeah, 4% PDR, which is fine. We have a 35% chance to explode. Can't even complain there. What else is there? We're going to exhaust the last two. Lightning res, regen. Can't complain. Quality it up. And that is his chest, more or less. What is his base? Yeah, this is like really high base percentile. So I'm going to run a map. We're going to, well, first things first, we're going to actually sell these guys because we no longer need it. 799, 965. Actually, no, 974. Right.
Whatever gets the job done.
Okay. So this is what he looks like before the change. This is what the clear looks like. This is basically right now his only source of explode are his boots, I believe. He has a legacy of fury with max endurance charges.
Die on your knees, pig.
Oh.
Another raid class.
Get swords out first. This time around. And this time, make sure we actually do have our offerings up. As you can see, not bad at all. Not great, but not bad. Then once we get our explode, the experience becomes very different. One thing I am considering adding to this build is Vow Discipline. Because with Vow Discipline, I have a button to press if I ever just straight up run out of like ES to cast stuff with. Whereas now, if I'm not blocking often, I could actually run out of ES and mana, of course. And that has its awkward moments. To make sure everybody's in my aura AoE, which I think they just straight up are. Make sure our triple offerings are up. There's a beyond boss here. Let's focus on clearing the Harbinger, shall we?
You waste good stock, Exile.
Thank you. My expectation when it comes to explode is because harbingers tend to be tightly clumped up like this. We're going to have waves of enemies come, like they're going to spawn. The explode chain happens, and then the explode chain happens, everybody dies, beyond spawns, explode chain happens, dies, and repeat on, unless there's like, if there's like a, what's the word I'm looking for here? Unless there is a, what's his face? My brain isn't working right now. Soul Eater. Soul Eater is the one thing that would make that chain awkward. Just because they have how tanky they are and how they'll eat all the souls of everybody you try to explode, or everybody you explode. There's a Soul Eater in here, looks like. Yeah, it's this fucking guy. They need to remove reduce damage taken from monster version of Soul Eater, to be honest. Give it the player Soul Eater treatment. Sure. But yeah, for a low to mid budget, this isn't bad performance at all. Okay, Soul Eater, of course. Is there a Soul Eater in there, or what am I looking at? Blocks attacks. That's what I'm looking at. No, that's a Soul Eater. But he died. Probably got exploded or something. Like chain exploded. Alright. So that's kind of what Declare looks like without explode chest. So we're going to be going for the explode chest upgrade now. Oh geez, that's a lot of currency. All right, we're going to do this. We are going to do this. Then we're going to do absolutely nothing because we forgot the chest. 20% quality. All right, we gave him 4% PDR, which realistically I might have liked to buff a bit more, but like it's okay, can't complain much. And then we're going to run on that map. So now he has a 35% chance to explode on his chest and a 40% on his boots. Now these are two separate. Now these are two very separate sources of explode, so they can do damage individually. All right. Isn't chain supposed to be chaos? What do you mean isn't it supposed to be chaos? Chaos DPS. Chains of command depends on how you build it. You can build it chaos, you can build it elemental. There is no one that it's supposed to be or not supposed to be. I'm currently building it as elemental. Wow, is that Solita guy? What's highest DPS? Very, very, very build dependent question. I would say it is probably better. It is probably easier to hit higher numbers with elemental because Void Forge exists. Probably very much easier to hit higher numbers with elemental than chaos. But that said, if you're going like poison, like in my settlers build, that has really good DPS still, but it's a lot tankier. I'm going elemental here because I want to go crit pretty much, and I think they should have higher DPS. I think it will ultimately be squishier than my chaos variant. And my chaos poison, but I think it should be just because it's squishier. Hopefully it doesn't feel squishy. POB wise, it looks fine. Oh, an eruptor. Another reason why I am opting in for the elemental version is I kind of wanted to build something that could handle risk scarabs, and poison is a lot more susceptible to certain modifiers like avoid poison chance, whereas the crit version is not. The crits, I mean, there are modifiers that would suck for it, like if you block, if like enemies are not taking. Ooh, that was a big explode right there. Like if enemies are
Make a call.
If enemies are consistently reducing crit damage via a modifier, that sucks, but it doesn't remove your damage. Determination, Conk Path, Leap Slam, Infernal Cry. I want determination. We're going to hire you because I suspect you are.
End of the line. You will fall. There are worse fates than death.
I don't know what I clicked there. Oh, I have an empty spot. I didn't even have an empty spot. That fight was interesting. The reason it was interesting is I clicked something and I was expecting to click something else, and I just never got to click the something else. But the fight was started and my brain kind of frazzled. Anyways. What up? You can kind of see the explode. I do think I want to kind of scale AoE. Minion AoE at least, so we can get bigger explosions. I got to 97 on Spectres, but wasn't able to run Blight Mouse because my PC wasn't strong enough. Is it possible to push Blight with chains? Is it possible to push Blight with chains? 100% it is. If you mean like the Giga Juiced Blight Strat in maps, I haven't tested it myself, but I would think you can via big chain explosions. You should be able to do it.
Wouldn't have lasted a day.
I'm assuming it should be better performance than Defilers because you have less projectiles showing up on your screen. But explode tends to also be quite intensive, at least for the server. So I can't 100% say, oh, the performance is going to be better or anything like that. I seen this weekend, surely, right? Finally taking the high sleep. I personally haven't done it, so oh god. Why am I running a less curse effect map? That kind of explains the deaths. That means Purity of Elements was doing fuck all. Wait. This is a 100% reduced effect of curses, non-cross auras, right? So this kind of explains why I died and why my AG died. So that means I'm not even capped on. Okay. Okay. I don't know how that snuck its way into my maps, but what scarabs am I using? Warhordes, Regency, Obelisks, and 2 regular Harbingers, but I'm scaling map effect. I'm not entirely sure if map effect scaling like this tends to increase the drops from Harbinger, but I am. I don't know if it will or not, but alas, is what I'm doing. Hi, where is your spider? What do you mean by spider? Do you mean Defilers? I'm currently not running Defilers. I have run them for 2 weeks straight, so don't think I think it's time for a new build. I pushed that build as far as I want to. I still ended up with like room to upgrade because like I never upgraded my chest piece and whatnot to really become like as tanky as I could, but you just got to 71 and you change the build. I mean, there's nothing stopping you from running Defilers. Like I ran them for 2 weeks. I'm just looking for a new build. That's it. This build right now is currently in its low to medium budget state. It's kind of what I'm testing. What the fuck is this lag? Oh, heisting this weekend. Champ heister, tanky and fast 20D. Yeah, that 20D budget was insane. Tanky, fast, must be immortal to all heists BS. Should not require button presses because he can't be bothered to press flasks. Ideally under 5D budget, but I mean can push it to 20 if he absolutely needs to. Yeah, I don't know where it's gonna find a build like that, but I just have 3. How do you get more? You should be in your low budget version, and in the low budget version, you're going to sit around like 3 for a bit. Level 25 general plus dark. You have 3 with Dark Monarch. That can't be right. You can get 3 from your gem. Level 25 gem. You can get 1 from the tree, so like baseline you should have 4, unless the tree is not, you didn't pick up the death attunement node, which would give you an extra spectre, so that's already 4. and then you're eventually going to want to get the shield, which will give you the 5th Spectre, and then the 6th Spectre comes from the chest. Yeah, Death Attunement Anoint. So that should already be 4 if you're at level 25 gem. And then number 6 is coming from chest. But yeah, on the low budget, you're going to have 3 to 4. You're going to have 3 until you can get to level 25 gem, and then you get your 4th one. And eventually you're going to upgrade. But I wouldn't recommend getting a Dark Monarch which doubles your Spectre count until you have at least four Spectres. Running Harbin, I think I've run Harbies for how many maps now? 13, give or take. And running Harbies for this few maps, I think I've gotten very lucky on fracturing shards, because my understanding is you don't always get, like, I've gotten 14 in less than 10 maps, so that's averaging more than 1 shard a map. Why not put an explode chest on the Merc as well? Because for the explode to properly work, which by the way my Merc doesn't have, like, I've only given him these 3. For explode to work on a character, he needs to be getting kills. You don't want your Merc getting kills, you want your AG getting kills, because if your AG gets kills, then you're going to get a higher level Anime Guardian weapon. If anybody else gets the kill, then you summon the level 18 version instead of level 20. Level 18 is capped at 12 minions instead of 14, and among other things. So you really want your AG to get the kills, which means your AG should be the one with Gravebind and not your Merc. Your Merc should not have Gravebinds, and as a result should also not have can you kill that, please? Explode. At least that's the thought process. What I do plan on giving my Merc is I plan on giving my Merc a Garb of the Ephemeral. But because Garb of the Ephemeral, which I already have in my stash by the way, but because this is me simulating a low-ish budget situation to see kind of like how the performance looks like and what I can improve, I have not actually equipped my Merc with that. Why aren't you using Void Forge? Because I want to use Rakiatas on the low budget. The idea here is Rakiatas is way cheaper than a Void Forge, so people who might want to get into it but might not have the Void Forge budget will want something they could play with, and we are simulating that pretty much. Eventually I'm going to be for a Void Forge, like 100%. But like for this variant, what we're actually doing for Rakiatas is Rakiatas has this unique line that says it treats enemies' resistances as inverted. So, and then it comes with a bunch of flat code and flat lightning damage. This effectively means that we want them to have as high of a resistance as possible, because then they're going to eat even more damage when inverted. So we opted into using this rune graph that makes our auras affect enemies. Now with our auras affecting enemies, that also means if we run Purity of Lightning, Purity of Ice, and Purity of Elements, the enemies are going to get it. They're going to get their cold and lightning res jacked up to cap. They're going to get max res, so they're going to be like at 80. They're going to be at 81% max res on both sides. And then that is going to then, the Rakiatas hitting them then takes that all the way to minus 81. or it treats them as minus 81. So all of these guys are hitting enemies in my range at minus 81. So this means we do not need curses or anything like that. Now there's also a different version I kind of wanted to test, but I don't know if I want to invest the currency into it. But I would have liked to test out a Void Forge variant of Echo Forge variant of this that's pure chaos damage to start out, and then go for the then go into Void Forge in the higher budgets, right? I'd have liked to try that out, and I still might, but I just don't know if I want to invest the currency into getting a chaos version set up, because what that would effectively mean, for you have in the update videos I posted, you have like a very in detailed like upgrading path you could follow, basically what I did, right? So that is definitely a resource to utilize. Anyways, I don't know that I want to invest what it would take to get the chaos version up and running. You do the dog things. Do you mean the things in my Google Sheets? Like in my POB? Okay, I mean, with enough experience you can do that, but it's definitely, I mean, if you just follow a POB, it's less hand-holdy, you know. You can't look at the notes, and I have put things that are useful there to help people get started and like just answer a bunch of frequently asked questions and whatnot. But the video is definitely, oh god, oh god, I'm eating a lot of shit I should not be eating. Diego Oliveira, thank you for the follow. How you doing? And welcome. AG is eating a lot of damage, I guess. He has a lot of regen, so like I'm not too worried about it. But like he's eating damage, and so am I. Like the good news is, well, this is no big deal for us. Ooh, Sanctuary, I'll take it. Like, it shows he's very tanky, but the downside is he's eating a lot of damage. But I mean, it's fine. That's why I built him as tanky as he is. So it wouldn't matter. And he's not even as tanky as he can be, because I haven't done everything I need to make him quite as tanky like this. That just makes him take even way less damage. Now he should be capped. He should be about, what, 90 lightning and cold res? Actually, no, he shouldn't be that unless he has elemental army. He should be like 87. Yeah, like around 87 most likely. Lightning and cold res. And his fire res should be like 83. Actually, no, it should be like, yeah, 83. Because I don't have purity of fire. And he should have determination coming from the Merc, which is where I'm getting determination as well. Which reminds me, I do need to get determination, or I need to get Watcher's Eye. I don't have a single jewel on this build, which I kind of want to get. Oh! But I think what I'll end up doing is I'll end up creating a POB for the two different variants I want to try for low budget and see which one sticks. Since Rakiatas and Echo Forge are about the same price and they give about the same flat damage, the question is it better to have the Rakiatas, which effectively is hitting them at minus 80 something res, and allow me to actually have like, ooh, and allow me to have res of like 81, 86, which is very comfortable? Or do I go for somewhere along the lines of an Echo Forge, go the Chaos route? The envy from mercenaries is really strong, so being able to get Crew Mistress who has envy will scale that damage up a lot. You can give your mercenary additional curses that would allow them to actually put the despair, so you don't even need curse limits. Your mercenary just needs that and you have despair going for you. You still have wither, easy access from the tree. You're perfectly immune to fizz and early reflect maps, because if Echo Forge had any base phase, which it doesn't, it would be converted to chaos with this. And of course, it just doesn't have any elemental damage. Whereas this variant needs awakened elemental damage with attacks to become early damage, like reflect immune. So that is kind of the thought process. If the Echo Forge variant ends up being higher DPS, then that might be the play, because, and this kind of feeds into that. For someone who is completely new, there is also, I found a weapon that would also just feed better into an Echo Forge setup, because Echo Forge is a divine, but this weapon is like 15C, which is a high fizz, two-handed unique hammer. I think it's called Tauhua Felon or something. And you could probably use that up until the point where you could use an Echo Forge, and then you use Echo Forge until you can full switch to Void Forge, which would then be a bigger respec. Alright. But there are bonuses to the Echo Forge variant, which is it's a much more linear path of progression. So I guess let's start with POB in the low budget version. We'll just start from here. Generate. What am I generating here? Start. Change the command. Import my current character. We're going to have to edit the thing a bit, but it's going to look something like this. Weapons are going to look something like this. Now this is Rakiata's low budget. Change the command. Rakiata's low budget. Let me just call it low budget. Change the command Rakiata's. And then I'll create a variant for Echo Forge, or just chaos. And starting out with the Rakiatas, let's create an animate guardian, shall we? Rename it from Kingmaker AG to just AG. It has explode chests. I could have crafted something, to be honest. I should have crafted. I forgot that you could craft. Anyways, Gravebind. I guess early on we could also switch a Gravebind. Gravebind is cheap enough, I think. But if we absolutely needed to, Diego, my current build isn't in my Google Sheet. You can check my build in a Google Sheet, but this one is not there because I'm currently testing it. Once I test it to the point I am happy with it, then I'll put the links in there. But for now, it's not there. This is Rakiata, so Rakiata's. Windscream, no. Legacy of Fury. Ideally, you want to get this a bit higher, like 40% chance, but Legacy of Fury, Gravebind, Explode Chest. But I guess Explode Chest is not low budget, so the low budget would be Growth Coast Belt, which is what we just switched out of today. And then Mask of the Stitch Demon. Yeah. I guess, what is the name of... I crown. There's a crown that stops you from Britain. I forget the name. I've forgotten the name. I don't remember if it's completely a crown or if it's just. I remember it as a. Oh, this is a Cardigan's crown. This could be a low budget version alongside Grotko's pelt. This way you don't have to worry about your AG not listening to convocation. But this also means you need convocation. But I do have space in my shield for just that. It also does mean that your AG is squishier than he probably wants to be. I think Feeding Frenzy is too important. I'm thinking Elemental Army to make him even tankier. But I think Feeding Frenzy is just too important for DPS to convince myself I can use it. Then in place of faster attacks, or yeah, in place of this, can I go Flesh and Stone? This one doesn't affect my allies, so if I can fit it. Why is my... Oh. I was so confused for a second. I'm like, why is my aura so out of whack? So yeah, I can fit Flesh and Stone in place of faster attacks. So that's probably what I should do in game to make myself even tankier. Way to move him all the way down here. So I never have to hear his worm shenanigans again. He can poop out all the worms he wants down there. Fine. Alright, come get him. We have strands. Are we out of strands? I think this is the last divine of strands we have. $10, $20, $30, $40, $45. $10, $20, $30, $40, $45. All right. Thank you. So I need 4 reds here. There. Oh. Okay, good. flesh and stone in place of faster attacks. That makes us even tankier. All right, where were we? The Rakiatas has enemies being on like 80 cold and 80 fire res. The one problem that our tech entails is it makes enemies ailment immune, so we can't actually shock them or anything like that because they have purity of elements. All right, they have fresh meat as well, feeding frenzy, all that good stuff. We have endurance charges, not frenzy charges or anything like that, I don't think. So let's 14, including full DPS. AG. This is about, I guess, where we are currently at in terms of DPS. This isn't fully fleshed, doesn't have the jewel sockets which it should have, and those jewel sockets are important. Then let's switch to Chaos, was it? This Chaos version would be switching this out, which is going to be very, very sad for this. So now minions have Unholy Might. That means Kingmaker AG, rename this to just AG. Now, of course, no Kingmaker. In this case, we're looking at Echo Forge. Echo Forge is like a divine right now. You get Echo Forge with as high of AVP DPS as you can. Which is, I mean, it has some physical damage there. And it has flat chaos, but we're going to be converting all that physical to chaos. With that, stacks is 15 because then instead of Asenath, we go Gravebind. And Grotkal's Pelt. And Cardigan's Crown. And Legacy of Fury. You still go Legacy of Fury because it does have Explode. You don't care about the Scorch this time around, but you care about the Explode. So that should be the entirety. Now, before we go anywhere, we need to remember to create configs. Nearby enemies are scorched. Actually, Scorch doesn't matter because Rakiatas, we are putting their res as high as possible. So the Scorch isn't actually reducing their res. Yeah, I think that's actually fine. Now we have Wither. We're doing full chaos. We have Envy. But not just any envy. For that, we need to go to Reddit and go into Path of Exile and then do envy. I heard local identity was supposed to be in the comment section of this post, but anyways, I can't find local identity here, which is fine. This is a level 84 MV. What is an 83 MV again? I have it somewhere on Discord. Just give me a second and I'll find it. Where is this thing? There we go. Now let's just look at this real quick. Make sure. Does POB have it? Somehow? How does POB mess with party shit again here? Can I add envy like that? At this rate, I'm going to have to use the 83 numbers. Or the 84 numbers rather, and I don't want to use 84 because I wouldn't have 84. POEDB. Pro Mistress. Envy. No, that's wrong. This is still showing level 20 envy. All right, we'll use these numbers right here. Yeah, there's nothing here that's I can't find it. It's there. So you and nearby allies have 234 to 328 added chaos damage. All right. Envy mark 84. Couldn't find 83, so I'm just going to use 84 for now, which should be slightly inflated, but we just have to keep that in mind. We're also going to have despair, so you can apply an additional curse. Probably give mercenary a windscreen, so he can actually cast the despair. Despair. I think this is more DPS. Oh, it's not. How is this not more DPS? The flat chaos is there. The conversion is there. Oh, you know what? Is the support gems. Melee phase is doing nothing because we're getting a lot of flat chaos. So something along the lines of void manipulation. Not weakened. Just regular void manipulation. More melee damage is fine. Minion damage is fine. Of course, not added lightning. We switch out added lightning for chance of poison is really good. Switch out early damage with attacks with multi. I mean, we already have multi strike, so it's going to be a. I'm not going to do full poison scaling, but we're going to go added chaos damage, I think. Fresh meat all the same. You know, unironically, they're literally tied for EPS. Unironically. The difference would be if I were to get poison chance jewels here, here, all of that. If I get minion poison chance and some flat physical damage or chaos damage, I think this guy would actually outperform the Rakiata's version. But we can test that out. So we can just add jewels. We'll add the exact same jewel. We'll add 2 mother jewels and life to each of these variants. And then we'll see. Now there's a jewel. This is not going to be what we end up doing. This is just what I want to see who's going to gain more damage. So Abyss Jewel, Ghastly Eye. We're going for minion, poison, and Flat Fizz. Flat Chaos is better, but that'll be expensive. So Flat Fizz. 2 mods. We don't care about life for now. This is all we care about. No, I'm just going to do this. That puts us at 4.1 and a poison chance of 100. 13, 26, 52. Yeah, okay, so you need all of them to actually get to 100% chance. Whereas with this one, we're going to do the same thing. Add all the jewel sockets. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. Yes. Let's add an Abyss Jewel. And in this one, the 2 mods in question are going to be Flat Lightning and Accuracy. At least I think accuracy is important. Is it? What is your accuracy? 100%. Oh shit, it's 100%? Okay. So in that case, Flat Cold, let's say. Both middle road. They're still fucking tired, and honestly, this guy will probably end up being cheaper than the Ghastly Agile on the other side. But here's the difference. They are tied on DPS, but this variant is tankier. Why is this variant tankier? It has Mistress of Sacrifice, which is giving it good block chance. Whereas this guy, the Chaos version, is opting for the Wither, which is very important, but it also means the block chance is way less. I'm seeing as we're using an Aegis Aurora, the block chance is very important. Very important to have block chance. So we actually would have to go this on this variant if instead of like this Is there anywhere else I spent 2 points for a thing? No. Probably be something like that. And of course, we don't need this one anymore on this variant. Wait, what are my auras? I use the wrath in this one, so we're not actually done. We already have an envy aura. I guess we would probably just go malevolence in place of wrath. We wouldn't do purity of lightning anymore. Precision is fine. We wouldn't do purity of ice because there's no need. It does mean we need to spend a bit more getting the res to a decent spot. we need malevolence. That's the only offensive aura that makes sense to get. But like that puts us back to 4.1. What else? Oh shit, this one didn't have these. Holy shit. That kind of solves it. Okay, so it's not even as close as I thought it was. The chaos is just straight up better, as expected. But it's squishier, which means we do need to get these points, which means we have to sacrifice some poison chance for it. But like, there's nothing we can do about it. We just kind of had to do that. I guess we could save a point there by moving that, but we'll see. Okay, so this is 8 mil DPS. This is 4 mil DPS. Now I'm assuming I'm missing. I assume I'm missing certain configs on both variants. So like that's the we're going to use port 15. Our PDR is not as bad as that. When it's 15, Brian King, Burning Ground. All right, so we know one is clearly better than the other in terms of DPS, and it's not even close, like double the DPS. I do think that is worth. It is going to be significantly squishier because here are the things you have to drop in order for that to work. You have to drop a determination aura, and in my case a vitality as well. You have to drop enduring cry, which means you do have to go for a different source of endurance charges, i.e. enduring composure. Your mercenary and AG do not have endurance charges anymore. You do have wither and you do have giga envy. And I guess with the auras you save, you can run determination yourself. Like, you can still run determination yourself. You just switch alls or prize into malevolence or determination. Either or is fine. Probably alls or prize. Probably the malevolence, so you still get the. Where's alls? Olu Efiji. No, not this one. Olu Efiji. And you'd either go determination, which would be reduced, which you don't care about, or you'd go malevolence, which you do care about because that's crit. That's what you'd end up going for. That gives us a whole lot of mana to work with. We still have precision, purity of elements, but we took off purity of lightning and purity of ice. So in their place, we're going to be using determination ourselves. So we still have determination aura at the very least. And flesh and stone. How do you use endurance charges? All right. Next things next. Is added chaos really the play here? I feel like we have a decent chunk of added chaos at this point. Minion speed is probably the best because it allows them to move even quicker. They'd be zooming at the speed of light. We do need to save some points from somewhere. So we'll probably save all of these and instead go here. Drop aura AoE. Drop this chunk because it's not needed. And now we're at level 91. Similar-esque, but not quite the same. Now let's just confirm that Echo Forge is the same price as Void Forge, and we're balling. POE.co. Echo Forge. It's a divine. The only thing is it has a much wider roll range. The one we gave our minion, the Echo Forge. Oh, I didn't give you attack speed because you ideally want some attack. Ooh, that's damage. So Echo Forge is just superior in every way if you can get a good one. So on average, it's like 2 divines. And then if you were to replace it with a Tahoa's Felon, let's add a Tahoa's Felon. You'd give it, you take as high of a phase damage roll as you can. It's going to be the exact same build, but with Tahoa's Felon instead. 3 mil DPS, and that's a much budget, a lot more budget weapon. And then because of the stage of the league, you start with this, you then upgrade to an Echo Forge, which doubles your DPS plus. It's a much smoother upgrade path, a way smoother upgrade path, and then eventually you pick this up as your 4th ascendancy, and that overcaps your block, giving you a whole lot of EHP with via Aegis Aurora. Of course, this weapon is not the most budget, is the only thing. All right, I think this is a fine skeleton. All right, I think it's fine enough. What we're going to do in its place is We need to tweak the tree. I feel like giving them more AoE would be nice to have for explosive purposes. $97. What if I did this instead? Level 96, block chance capped. DPS is still fine. Nothing really expensive. Bench that weapon. Actually puts a decent weapon here. Convening wand. Give it good minion damage with nothing else going for it. Trigger. Just damage and trigger. Literally. Probably fix the implicit, but yeah. Have that be the source of all my damage. And everything else is there to windscreen. All right, we're going to switch this back to an Echo Forge because it's a divine. Yeah, okay. What is the crit chance? 79%, poison chance, accuracy is 99%. Crit chance is 42%. For my tree on this variant, what exactly do I want to do? My chess piece has life, so like this is a dead point, doing nothing for me. So helmets. We have a free gem, so flesh and stone can go here. Faster attacks for now. So aside Windscream, we can give our Merc Osprey's Will. That'll give it 2 extra curses. Give it Asenat's Gentle Touch for temp chains. This one will be level 1, 0. Mark curses. Osprey's will. So yeah. This I think is really ideal for single targets. At this point, it might be worth it to go like Unbound Ailment and like. Like, I really would like the minion movement speed that comes with that. But yeah, Unbound Ailment at this point should be more DPS. 8.3. So we just need to keep getting jewels for poison chance. If we can, beautiful. If we can't, it's not the end of the world. This is 7 points. Six points. But then I get that. It's less raw life, so we do that. But this gives me an extra jewel socket. Yeah. I think this is fine. $9.1 mil DPS. Poison, flat fizz. And if you had to get flat chaos, it'd be even stronger. Anything else I need to be wary about? When it comes to poison, at least. Nothing comes to mind. Like, I don't know if I want to add Watcher's Eye into a version of this build that already has so many uniques, from your Aegis unique to your personal uniques. Adding Watcher's Eye just increases the budget. It's a tad bit that I'm trying to avoid. So I think this is fine. 9 mil low budget is actually quite insane. But that's just the power the mercenaries provide, right? Level 95. POB though is the only problem. But just before you, if you're playing the game, before you know it, you actually get to 95. And before then you just drop this. It's going to be bad for your block, but this is what I think I'm going with the low budget. I didn't think Echo Forge is going to be this much better, but I mean, it makes sense that it is. It's a freaking Shaper drop versus, I mean, Rakata's a T02, so. All right, give me a second. I need to get water. I shall be back.
I ironically haven't gone yet. Come on. Come get it before I have to go. I forgot that I was not selling this. All right, buddy, hurry up. Thank you very much. All right, BRB. All right, I am back. Ah, jeez. Okay. Where were we? We're happy with the chaos variant. So it's going to be this until we can afford a void forge, pretty much. So the medium budget would be this guy. So realistically, is Ruthless even still ideal here? Yeah, it is. Ruthless is just very strong. Void Manip is probably still ideal. Yes. Minion damage is fine. It is very ideal. Chance to poison probably doesn't beat it, to be honest, because 40% chance to poison as well as flat chaos damage. Hard to beat that. Unbound Ailments is the one that I could actually see being dropped. You know. Okay. Why would less duration be here over faster attacks? No, we have fresh meats. All right. Jeez. It also means we have a bit more explode when it comes to clear because this guy will have Asenath. It does mean we have to give him Cospray's Wheel and Windscream in the meantime. And then eventually we have to get rid of the Asenath. Why do we have to get rid of Asenath? It's just extra explode. Okay. In that case, we're probably not going to do that. We still have our Enduring Composure cluster, so we're going to use that. Nothing else in his gear needs to change other than his weapon if I get an Echo Forge. Well, I guess we're going to we might as well just try, right? Get an Echo Forge, actually, before we do anything, let's get our last ascendancy done. So, uniques. I don't have Cospray's Will. For this one, I would. If I don't have Cospray's Will, that's fine. It just means we'll get it. Actually, we don't need it now. We need it when our mercenary can actually apply a curse in the form of despair. Until we get Cruel Mistress, we don't have to do anything. We're just going to keep playing as we are. The only difference is we are going to be using an Asenath. I don't have an Asenath in here, but I do have a Windscream. You can't use an Asenath. Okay. Okay, if you can use an Asenath, you can use an Asenath. Cruel Mistress can because she's int based. But I feel like there's something that she's not going to be able to use that I planned on using. Where's Cruel Mistress? There. Envy. We don't care about anything else here. Don't care about anything else here. Just despair. Despair, envy is all we care about to the Cruel Mistress. She's full int. Which means Guard of the Ephemeral she can use because it has int requirements. Crown of the Tyrants she should be able to use. We don't need a Crown of the Tyrants anytime too early, but it has int, so she can use it. Can she use a Kingmaker? Can she use a Kingmaker? No, she cannot. So that's the one thing she can use. She can use a Kingmaker, but I mean, it was an axe. She obviously couldn't. I'm just now clocking that like it's an axe. She can't use it. Do you recommend swapping to Rate Lord with Wretched Defilers? I personally went with Dark Monarch, and I think it is for Wretched Defilers. Dark Monarch is significantly stronger than Great Lord.
So do I recommend going full specters? Yes. Do I recommend Great Lord over Dark Monarch? No. Dark Monarch is 100% better. All right. So this guy is strength. All right. Actually, Prague offering.
Justice will.
By the way, what up, George? I feel like I've seen your name on Discord or something, but I could be wrong. Trying to figure out gear progression. Yeah, Great Lord is a fine helmet still, but Retrofilers have a very, very, very decent amount of base damage to the point where it's a lot better to just get extra defilers over getting the extra flat damage and potentially life you might be getting from a ghastly hydro. Frosty, what up? How's the new build going? Pretty good. I'm currently simulating a lowish budget variant, and in the process of this I decided to POB something else I had an idea for, like in terms of low budget, a different weapon, and it turns out that one is going to be significantly, oh god, you're telling me that I cannot shield charge because traps? Yeah, that is not great.
There must be a golden door.
That is not great. I need some level of ES regen is what that means. We'll have to figure that out. But yeah, instead of Rakiatas, I think it's better to go Echo Forge. You're bored of Spectres trying to find something new? I mean, welcome to the club. I'm going to change the command. I think it has good potential, and I think it has a much better... It has a much easier entry into like risk scare up strats, so it should be fun. It's definitely it's a very different feeling build to put together, if not for anything, but because now you have two AGs effectively. It feels really nice to it feels very, very nice to be able to push the DPS as well as the defenses, because I think for this variant I'm currently running, i.e. crits, my biggest problem with it in the past was a lack of defenses, like a lack of physical mitigation, because you just would lose out on so much by having your AG be built this offensively, like your helmet and everything. But because we now have a Merc, we have the aura space to still go quite defensive. Why don't I use Void Forge? Oh, I plan on using a Void Forge. It's just Void Forge is higher budgets. So I have a final POB where I plan to go, and like for that, it's a very fine POB. Like I think I like everything about it. So now I wouldn't want to get my end game AG set up and then have to try to test a leveling variant or something like that, because when I make a video I tend to like to make like lower budgets so people can follow along and work their way up the budgets. So it just makes more sense for me to test it as I am before I actually put the investment in, to prevent any down bad moments later on. It might be worth for lab turning off mind over matter, I'll be honest. it just might be worth, because having your ES, your mana pool empty because you're taking damage and not being able to shield, like to use your spells, that doesn't feel good. Does not at all. So there's that. The good news is, life-wise, we're typically chilling because my swords always seek out enemies. But yeah, in the high budget version, I plan on using Void Forge. That's just not this version.
Fall before me.
You are inexhaustible. Wisdom is the offspring of suffering and time.
Wisdom is the offspring of suffering and time. Just to confirm, this guy is not a dead end, right? Yeah, it doesn't look like it is. I wish you could have like overleach into ES, but without Mahozotel. Jeez. Without Mahozotel, I'm not sure that's possible, and Mahozotel makes ES useless, so like it isn't really even possible with that. I guess what we could do in theory is we could give our life regen to ES, so ES regen is pretty healthy, but then we'd be missing out on life regen. We still have leech though, and we still have, I guess, life flasks, but it'll feel a lot comfier, I think. Because like right now our life regen is 360. That's actually low. That's actually a very decent amount, but I think that's because we have vitality from our mercenary. Brother. If you can build high budget, you can go to farm T17s. Yep, that is the plan. POB wise, the numbers are of pro T17s. They're actually it's actually been set up in a way where it can farm risk scarabs if needed, which is kind of what I kind of wanted to go into. So it has a lot of like modifiers and defensive layers that help it against certain modifiers, like cannot regen, for example. ES cannot regen doesn't matter for ES. It matters for mana, but we have ES covering this, so we're fine anyways. Less recovery rate of ES and life is the like biggest one where it's like it can be problematic, but we're using Aegis Aurora, so we still have some level of ES recovery. But that said, less recovery rate is something you probably want to avoid other than risk scarab. Because Risk Scarab, my understanding of it is the new modifiers don't scale. And because they don't scale, if you get less recovery, it's 60%, and we can live with that. But if we were to roll it on the map, it'd be over 100%, and we probably don't want to do that. Add XP to a gem. I don't think there's any gem we care to add XP to. How much XP? 30 mil. All right, so you are close to level 20 is what that means. All right, fine, we'll do it. This is what 4 ascendancies is going to look like on this setup. Now we have a very healthy amount of res. We were capped on res before. Now I just got 30 free. Look at that res. Yeah, Chaos res is still suffering. Here's something I learned recently that I had zero idea on. Apparently, when it comes to caster mastery, you can turn on and off your auras multiple times, and that counts as casting for the purposes of opening chests. I did not know this. So yeah, because this is very good in Harbinger, because of how ball lightning works, we are constantly blocking, and because we are constantly blocking, ES stays full, even though we are mind over matter. And of course, this also matters. Holy shit. This guy has so little, so you're going to be problematic is what that means.
Might makes right.
Did we kill the Soul Eater guy? I feel like we did. I think explode is carrying me more than I realize, because I look away and my swords have moved on to like way deeper into the pack because an explode change just happened. Like, it feels so much better with the explode than without, even though it's not visually obvious.
You only get one first impression. Try not to ruin it. You do realize who I am, don't you?
Do you have anything good for me? Nothing crazy good. All right.
Fall before me.
Kneel. It's usually us Bardians doing the robbing.
I also think Divine Shield is very, it's going to be very comfortable with this setup. So I need to actually fit it into my POBs on all budget levels. Because like just with determination, we are going to be mitigating a whole lot of physical damage. And that effectively means we should have less, like, we should have fewer moments where we're out of ES, creating those really awkward, like here. If we were regening with the phase damage mitigated, we wouldn't be this empty. So I think we're going to keep doing this version until we get a Cruel Mistress, because Cruel Mistress is such a big damage multiplier. And to be fair, also an explode multiplier because Asenath. I think it's going to be a bit before we can actually get the Cruel Mistress. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to start spending some time exiling people.
You waste good stuff, Exile.
I can't even find my AG. Is that him? Or is that my Merc? Looking for the guy that doesn't have ES, but we replace swords so... Jesus. The attacking so quick. Anyways, alright, we have to kill this guy. That's that Waking Fury. It's the fresh meat at play there. All right, what is your quality? Let me know if I'm going to actually add quality now or later. Increase crits. I thought that thing was me. Sorry for beating you. That shit has happened to me before. I was watching someone stream, and for like, it made me paranoid as to, because whenever I heard it think, I would pause. I would actively try to not get excited, to be sure it was my think. All right, where will we? I don't think we have people exiled, like mercenaries exiled. So we need to start doing that. Oh, that was it. You know, for a second, I thought the thing I heard was a fracturing shred. I'm like, where is my fracturing orb? Because I knew I was, I mean, at 18. But nope. I haven't gotten more fracturing shards. Let's look at POB. I wanted to check something. So with the Echo Forge variant, if I don't have Crew Mistress in particular, that is going to be how much damage loss? Almost 2 mil by dropping the Envy. It's a lot of damage. Still doable without. Still more damage than what I'm currently going for without the Crew Mistress. But that doesn't include not having Despair Curse, because I wouldn't have Despair Curse. I also probably wouldn't have Temp Chains. Better I just do this. All right. So that just says we need to have the Mercenary, because like, or at least someone that can use Temp Chains on, or someone that can use Asenath. That's what that means. Why did I save this? So I need to do my best to find a Crew Mistress. I guess what I could do in theory is I could run 16.5s white, completely take, like, just go do, just beeline into the boss, and then just, here's my thought process. If I'm looking for a merc, all I need to do is load into Strand, beeline it for the Mercenary, and then do something else. So something like Heist would be really nice here, where I just click all the Heist nodes on the way to the Mercenary. I find the Mercenary, exile whoever I need to exile. If I see a memory tier, I click the memory tier and I do the 4 quick maps, and then I'm gone.
You'll see. I am not to be trifled with.
Crew Mistress is pure in, so I can't actually,
Accept your decision.
I can't do anything to you, so.
So it's death you want. Unravel. Well. You win. It's yours to ruin.
Oh, that's a tainted orb of fusion. How am I dropping so much tainted currency? Not that I'm complaining. We're not complaining here. We don't complain about getting currency. Just curious. We are currently level 90, which means we can finally start to drop Harbingers, because the reason why we went Harbinger and beyond was so I could level up very quick. That was the sole reason why we went Harbinger. Not because we thought it was insane money, because like it's decent money, but it's nothing crazy. But it's a lot of monsters you can kill, and as such it's good XP. not the best XP out there. I'm sure Breach can also compete. I'm sure there are a bunch of like other XP strats that also competes. Betrayal would have also been decent when you run the safe houses, but Betrayal is so jackpot right now with the rework that I'm just like, I don't want to deal with this. Like, I genuinely just don't want to deal with it, so I'm not. You know, a mercenary I wish I could build chains of command around. The rallying cry guy. In theory, he is like the single biggest DPS boost we can have if we can actually get him to use his war cry often. But with how frequently we replace the swords, it's just not feasible to get any lasting buff effects from war cries unless they are spamming the war cries. Because like this build in particular tries to get them replaced as much as possible. Just see how quickly we're replacing it in a single target environment. Keep in mind, this is a single target environment. This is like, look at that. If you war cry now and you war cry in 4 seconds, all the swords are going to have been replaced. And that is without offering. So like, they aren't even getting replaced as much as they in theory could be getting replaced. Did I just see 2 more orbs of... Ooh. 2 more tainted fusions? How much are tainted fusions right now? Only 13C. They have fallen in price so hard. The last time I did slash kills, I was on 70k monsters. I think I'm truly with melee fizz being in here. We don't have that much base fizz. We're getting a lot of flats, everything else. So I think I'm genuinely trolling by having base fizz in there. Let's see. Yeah, exactly. It's like 400k damage. Whereas if I were to get on added code 5 mil, probably minion speed would also be better than this. Volatility would be the best since we have lucky. Yeah, volatility is also pretty good. Perquil's toe. Nearby allies damage it hits is lucky. This would mean we have to use Perquil's toe though. And this guy's now competing with the other variants. Okay. Fair. All right. Volatility it is. Like, I don't know why it just occurred to me, but I'm just like, as I was clearing there, I'm like, wait. why am I doing more melee phase? Like, why am I running that support? And I like throughout the previous like Harbinger fight, I was just thinking about it. Like, is it? I'm adding a lot of flat elemental, not fizz. We're not going through the full conversion. So I was showing my damage with melee fizz. All right. Duly noted. I guess now with that out of the way, we can actually just say they are tied, and it's up to whoever. Like, they are genuinely so close that neither you can't just write one off, or they're both just really good in terms of like DPS and defensive. That said, I do think this one is still slightly tankier than the Chaos version. Is added lightning even ideal? I just kind of slotted this in at the time. I don't necessarily know that it's the best. Oh, it is. Okay. Only LE focus beats it. I was about to say, why use LE focus? That stops me from shocking. Then I remembered something very important. I'm already giving enemies purity of elements, so I can't shock them regardless. So it's nothing but a positive to go LE focus. So we're gonna do that as well. All right. Mark gear. Quills. Oh. Now that I'm done trolling, I would never think of anything. Like, the way it occurred to me was very funny. I'm like, I'm running melee fizz just like I did in the Chaos version, but like, I'm not going through the full physical conversion stages that would make melee fizz good. Why am I running melee fizz? Am I trolling with melee fizz? And this is like literally what I was thinking of in real time as I was fighting the Harbinger. Like, am I trolling? But like, and then I was thinking, what fizz damage do they have? And like, I couldn't think of anything. They actually just have flat elemental. So yeah, we're done trolling, it looks like. We actually have significantly more DPS. All right. Realistically, I do think this version is tankier because it has higher max res, it has a higher base block chance without is it imbalanced guard, or what's it with this glancing blows, without glancing blows. This guy has Soul Eater. So now, why should somebody use the Chaos version or use the Elemental version? The elemental version has 80% on 2 reses, and could potentially get this if you get mercenary that has the last 80%, right? So it's a lot stronger to elemental damage baseline.
Die on your knees, pig.
Block wise, it's really good. Block wise, it's really good without glancing blows, whereas the other one I think needs glancing blows. It also goes for more aura effects, so any aura it is currently using has a bit of an edge. Like, look at the damage difference.
Advance. I'm ready.
So 100% this is just tankier than the chaos version. So can I get the chaos version's damage to the point where it is worth running, or do we just stick with Rakiatas? I'm inclined to say sticking with Rakiatas is the play. Oh, we got a nameless here. Surely he's finally going to give me my first good unique from him of the season. I think it's quite comical just how bad the nameless here is. Like, I feel like in most situations, unless you're trying to scry, there is no dopamine from finding him. It's just like, oh, he's there? Oh, cool. Rat Cage, Impulsor, Ahuanas, Curtain Mask, Putrid, Okaostra rather, Oro's Sacrifice, Rigwald's. Nothing here is great. I'll be very honest with you. I think I'll just go Coward's Trial. Like, literally, nothing here is great.
Die on your knees, pig.
Now, on the flip side, melee phase is actually very insane for the next variant of this build, which is Void Forge, because with Void Forge you're trying to get as much flat physical damage as possible, because it just gains a ton of physical damage as extra elemental. So you actually do want melee phase because you do go through the conversions in the higher version. But in the lower version, it is bait. All right. So Rakiatas is 9 mil. This version has... Let's create config. So anything below there is config. What is the mercenary currently providing? Determination, level 26. I don't know if quality is 20 or 0. I'll put it on 0 though. He's also providing vitality currently, but eventually I'd rather he provided purity of fire or vitality for now. You know what? I don't think his vitality is necessarily, because like in game, my regen with him, because that's my imported character. My regen with his vitality is 361. At 361, that's about between 19 and 20. Jeez, sorry about that. Oh,
Crack the whip.
and then he also provides occasional enduring composure. He is my source of endurance charges, as well as my minion source of endurance charges. With Purpose Toe, I think I need to give him Warcry CDR. That fell. Yeah, I need to anoint it. So we're going to take your Purpose Toe real quick. We're going to look at Warcry CDR, which is Deep Breaths. Teal Indigo Opal. We're going to do the same thing. Teal Indigo Opal. And then we're going to slap it on you. So now let's see if it's up permanently. Now it should be up more than permanently. Is there a reason you're not using it when you should be? Is it because we're not consistently fighting? Is that it? Are you waiting? Is it that you're waiting till you actually lose the endurance charges before you use Enduring Cry? Is that what's going on here? Because like I'm not understanding. He is waiting, it feels like, till the endurance charges fall. Like he's trying to use Vigilant Strike. Now keep in mind, he is not my best in slot. My best in slot is going to have Infernal Cry. But that is not him. For now, this is what he's providing me, and then Enduring Cry. So we're going to ignore the Enduring Cry. We're also going to say until we get our Enduring Composure, which we should still be trying to get, we have 3 endurance charges. Okay, so first things first. Let's get Enduring Composure in here. Now at that point, we have max endurance charges, while my minions have 3. I mean, that's actually max for them as well. Then I think we're going to drop some of these. We're also going to take our Ghastly Eye Jewels and give it life and give it more lightning. Now I'm going to confirm that this is better than cold. Yeah, it's better to give it lightning than cold. All right, lightning it is. Then this is also a dead link that I just remembered I still have. So remove the dead link from there. It's not needed. Probably put it here. Actually, no. 744, which is what, 15. I could get the same amount going through triple fives here. Recover life on minion death and max early res accuracy. What does the accuracy currently look like without the ghastly eye jewels? Let's see. It's 100% without, because Rakiata's has increased global accuracy. Oh, so with Rakiata's, we don't even have to worry about accuracy. So we can then drop this one as well. Because the Rakiatas. Alright, fair. And then we slap on those guys. Defensively, we're looking at 87k EHP with Fizz max hits, Fire max hits, Cold, Lightning, Chaos. Cold max hits being because we also have Aegisora giving us flats, giving us 5 max Cold res. Lightning because Purity of Lightning, but Fire because no Purity of Fire. Oh, before we forget, Determination and Vitality have auras. Determination has 100% reduced reservation. Same thing with Vitality. And eventually you want to get that. Ignoring the strength required because we don't actually need the strength for that. So again, 87k, it's like 16k Fizz max hits. This guy is 13k. It's still the same EHP because we got to very similar block numbers because we didn't need to scale aura effects, so we got back here. But these guys are significantly worse because, I mean, lightning res, I just need to get some extra res elsewhere, like on the ring, or where can we fit more res? Probably going to need to have some resistance jewels, or this giving fire res. If the large cluster gives lightning res, I think it's fine. If we got slightly more lightning res from our sources, I think it would be fine as well. So how are we going to cap? What does that int look like? Int looks pretty decent, so it is going to do tattoos, is what that means. Two tattoos should be enough. That puts us at cap. So 41k max hits with 50k cold and 13k fizz. EHP on the other hand is higher because the block chance is 55-63, whereas here the block chance is 55-35. Why is it 35? Because we are opting for purities. Fire is exactly the same across both max hits, across both POPs. Lightning obviously is better and cold is way better. Fizz here is better. Why is Fizz here better? Life pool wise, we're looking at what seems to be slightly more alive in the Rakiata's version, but not enough to account for 3k increase. So why? Where else are we getting? We're getting flesh and stone, I believe. All right. Sandstance, is this one set to sandstance as well? Yes, it is. Where are we getting it from? Okay, and we also need to figure out on the Rakiata's version how we can I can drop this actually. It doesn't lose me in max res, so I think it's fine. I can't drop here because this gives me one extra. Makes these 181s. All right, so that's minus 2 points. I need to fit this guy alongside this guy, and then this one would genuinely be a giga tank. I think I drop here, and my thought process is well, I get that, but I also get 6%. I think this is fine. This is a level 95 character. What is my in-game character and how can I adjust it? 91. Realistically, if I'm being very honest in what priority is, I need to do this. I need to do that in favor of this. I need to do what else is missing? We have this. We have basically most of the pathing. We don't have here. We do have here, but we're supposed to be missing 4 points. Right now, it looks like it's going to be these 4 points. But if we get those 4 points, we'll still have this one. So something is off in game versus there that I can't see just yet. So this is one of the points I don't have selected. And then there's 4 here, so that gives me 5. Which is, yeah, 1 point. And then 4, which is 95. So where are these 3 points coming from? 1. I don't need that, right? So that's a point we don't have. Everything else is a point we don't have. 1, 2, 3, because I just prefer that pathing. Because it puts us closer to here. What the fuck is missing? This entire section is the same way we have it in game. So is this section. Oh, we don't have a point here. Okay. That's where the points are coming from. Dual sockets. You also have this guy. Yeah, okay. That makes perfect sense now. Okay, so it's dual sockets. She would have driven me nuts. Okay, in that case, we're just going to do this. We're going to hope that's enough. Nope. We're going to keep putting points in there as we level up. Oh no. Dave. What build? All right, now I can actually fit this. Oh no. That's it. That is KB, right? This is regular KB, not KB or plus strain. Blood rage when you kill enemy. In-stacking. More in-stacking. Pen. Holy, what a wand. What a wand. In-stacking naturally, because why not? Increased int, flat int. Crits. Damn. Then we have the helmets. 505 ES. Are you CI? I assume you're CI. More ints. Shit ton of ES. Alright. Let's see. It's 18k ES. That's wild. Don't worry, this is a regular T. This is a regular map. It's just harbingers. Am I gonna start flickering because of the effects? Dude, the lag. The lag and reach. But this purple one I think is the best MTX for KB. It's the only one I've seen that is worth noting. What is my FPS right now? I can't even see my FPS with all the buffs we have. 46 frames. I see a 7. I see a 6.
Beg for death.
Oh wait, what damage type do you do? You do lightning. I think I'm actively nerfing you. All right, give me a second. Let me make one change. I'm actively nerfing you by giving them lightning res. All right.
You sure you want to do this?
I'm done nerfing you. Have you opted in?
Clock's ticking.
I will exile this one.
One shot. That's all I need. One shot, one kill. Ah, fine. I'm gone. Don't come crying when you change your mind.
I feel like this. I feel like the performance on KB for me might honestly be better than KB of clustering. Is this true? Is performance on KB base KB better than clustering? Stable 240 FPS. Also, why don't I just yoink him out? Not bad. My FPS was taking a beating, but not bad. Do you have an 8K PC though? I mean, my PC is it could use work. Let's just say it's not too bad, but it's also not great either. But yeah, you had 500 ping. Holy, you're in EU. I just remembered, so that makes a lot of sense. What are we trading for? Sell it. What is this? Why am I selling it? Corrupted blood with fire dot multi and this. Is it really this expensive? Who loves this? RF? Adorned with RF. I mean, this is way too expensive for me to take. Thank you for the thought though. Appreciate it, but it's way too expensive for me to take. Did you just did you just log? Sell or delete? I will keep it right here for you. I will catch you at some point when you are actually. Why do I have a 2020? Oh, I was about to say, why do I have a 2020 AG? That's why. I will catch you at some point when you are online. It is going to be at the moment when you least expect it. I have been known to be stealthily available in people's hideouts. Except this time, I don't have defilers giving away my position. So, beware. You will get a random trade request for it. So how are you enjoying KB? I have never actually used KB. You know, for a second I was like, where's my mercenary? And I remembered I moved him so I didn't have to hear the worms doing the worm things. I didn't want to hear that. I wanted the boss, but I ain't gonna lie, I love speed. Wait, did you build it to be a bossa? Like, were you going for a bossa with KB? Who is this? Nobody can when you get your jewels. 140 divines. Sheesh. What kind of jewels are they? I feel like I'm missing an aura, and it's you, isn't it? Yeah, it's you. All right, so I was missing an aura. Now that we've gotten a bit more block, it's a lot harder for them to kill us. Woo! That is 6. We have a full fracturing orb. How much are they going for? That's 7 divines. So at least we're making money. We are making money. We also have a full stack of ancient orbs. Plus... get the pylon scarabs they drop. Oh, I do have it. Do you mean the obelisk? If you mean the obelisk, I do have the obelisk. Yeah, I am running it. I hear it drops more fracturing shards in general, so...
Well, what's it going to be?
Oh shit, bloodlines.
I'll own you yet. Might makes right.
Why was he just running around not doing anything? And full orbs. I haven't dropped a full orb yet, but I'm only like 14 maps into the strats. I'm mostly doing it for XP because I'm just going to be killing a whole lot of monsters basically.
Hello, whoever joined Discord.
Sup?
Hey.
Dave's favorite ninja is back. Are you confused?
Yeah.
Dave says you always sneak in like a ninja, basically.
Oh, what's up, Dave?
He ended up rolling KB. Lol. Did you see what he said?
Holy, nice.
Did you see what he says?
No, I didn't. What did I miss?
You'd have to look at my stream. But yeah, I ended up POBing the low budget for Echo Forge and the low budget for Rakiatas, and after like earnestly POBing both of them, they turned out to be like very similar, very identical in terms of DPS and in terms of performance. So I think the Rakiatas is going to be the de facto low budget because the Rakiatas has higher max res and it's just, I think, overall tankier without losing much in the way of damage. Like being able to have 80, 81, 86, 76 as your max res numbers, that's not bad. And if you can get a decent what do you call it, mercenary, then you could get purity of fire, and that'll get him to like 80, 81. So you then be 81, 86 max early res. The Discord is not mine actually. It's Arcane's Discord, and I just chill there. Bloodlines, strands. What did we get here? T2 armor EV chimera skill. Surely you're not. Yeah, okay, we hide the evidence. But yeah, I think with this, we can actually just safely call the low budget a wrap. I think we can call it a wrap at this point. I think it's fine. And now I think we can actually start investing into the build properly. Holy shit. Okay, chill. It's not that deep, all right? It's not that deep, my dudes.
How's the Rakiatas thing going?
Pretty good. I would say I'm decently tanky now. I still don't have a watcher's eye in the thing because I felt it would increase the budget. And with AG already being a pretty substantially expensive build requiring a full set of gear for your AG as well as yourself, and a lot of uniques, which albeit pretty cheap. Lol. Albeit really cheap means if I were to add a watcher's eye on top of it, even if it's like a 1D watcher's eye or something, it would still be the price would just keep creeping up, right? So basically I just left it at full ghastly eye Joes for the low budget. The rune graft itself is
You didn't
pretty
have to
cheap.
get accuracy, right? Because of the
Rakiatas has insane accuracy bonus, so yeah, I didn't have to get accuracy.
yeah, blast.
You know, it was today I realized Rakiatas had so much accuracy because like I hadn't POB'd my character yet. So I was just like, you know what? Let me just check just real quick. Because I wanted to POB both of them, so I imported my character and saved it under 2 POBs as a baseline before I started making changes for what I think I would do for Echo Forge and whatnot. And I checked my accuracy and I saw 5k accuracy. I'm like, huh? Without any jewels? Then I realized Rakiatas has giga like global accuracy as it's implicit. My current block chance is for 65, 56, so RBs are not going to allow this fall, thankfully. One thing I do have to be wary of with this setup is dot damage. Dot damage is fine, but there is a universe where it leaves me. There is a universe where it leaves me without ES if I'm not actively blocking. So I might need what's it called, discipline or vow discipline as a socket. I do have an empty socket here that I can literally just put vow discipline in if I need to, so we'll probably end up doing that. Also, something else that's just very cozy about Chains of Command. Will he get me a mage blood or no? Don't tell me you bought more keys. I mean, I see you're in my hideout. No, you're not. Is this trying to hide in plain sight? Is that what we're trying to do here?
Lol. Mine is about to make me check.
Obey me.
All right. I see a life bar. I see a name. I see someone hiding in between the worms. What is this? Holy, that's bad. All right. Key number 1. Dave is gonna need all the help he can get. Oh shit, ads freaking started. 9 divines. I mean, this is a 9 divine mage blood, I think. I think it's gonna be worth all the divines that have been spent thus far. Yeah, we're going to wait until the ads are done. We're gonna wait. Holy, the glare on my screen is insane. Give me a second. I'm gonna close that window. All right. I am back. Ads are done. What is this? Ads are done for everyone. We can get our mage blood now. Hey, at least it could be worth this some money. Could be the best ring you didn't. Okay, you want you want Toucan? Le Toucan. Le Toucan has arrived. I mean, Le Toucan has arrived, and he has brought with him good tidings in the form of a mage blood. No. A ghost ride. It's how quick he logs off for me. All right, ghost ride.
07.
And then we have, you're gonna have good stats, surely, right? Oh, it was so good to being perfect. It was so close. If it didn't have the reduced rarity, it would have been insane.
What are you farming?
Me? I was farming Harbinger to level up.
Oh, okay.
Now I'm up to level 92, so I'm about to swap out most likely.
Oh, 92. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm like sharing out 3 risk herbs in like 20 T17 setups.
They didn't even give me the jewel. What jewel? This time we're going to get rid of the evidence in a creative way. We're going to dust it in King's March. Do you want this ring? I mean, it's reduced rarity, but everything else is really good. Especially the mana reservation. Nah, it's not worth anything. There's a 50 divine. Oh, I forgot. I completely forgot. I mean, you'll be back. There will be a point when you expected less, and at that point, okay. It was at the point where it was most expected. There is no freaking way. Why would you delete it? What up, Heliox? Lol. What do I want to do here? I think I want to block chance. Then I'll go for this guy next. The Voidborn Reliquary Key. The ultimate deleting currency gate. Two keys were 9 divine. Dude, Reliquary is insanely expensive this league. Like, it is actually wild how expensive it is. All right, so I think this is fine. I'm doing good. Finally on my second build of the league. The change of command. We're going for an elemental version this time around. We've given him an explode chest.
Fall before me.
What's your third build gonna be? I'm leaning towards having a mercenary build where like the mercenary is a carry and I have an aura bot mixed with like a minion aura bots, you know, have minions that actually supports the mercenary as well as being an aura bot myself. So it'll probably be a guardian or something. It's kind of what I think my third is gonna be. As your first was good. What do you mean? Joking? Oh, you mean like build? But yeah, they're all gonna be amazing. I don't think this one is going to be quite as tanky as the Reg Defiler though. That's like the one qualm, but it's going to be able to run more mods and it's going to have a lot of explode. So hopefully, I'm hoping that because it's only going to be 14 swords, like PC performance wise, I'm hoping it's going to be good. I saw Elemental change the command, but the streams are too long to rewatch. It's late and I want to check. Have a good one. All right, Heliax. Good night. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate the checking in. Have a good night. But yeah, we are building Elemental change of command. Now we can't. I kind of want to exile him, but I don't think that's the smartest thing we could do. You know, a Spectre I really want to try making work, I just haven't figured out how I would do it, is Bar Knight Preacher. I think unlike POB, I think there's something up with his DPS numbers that is just not explained. Like, I don't think his DPS is quite as high as POB says it is, and I feel like it's either a base damage point of view or something, but I kind of want to make it work, but at the same time, I do not have the patience for Spectres as squishy as that, because he is fucking squishy. Like, it's a ball lightning shooting Spectre, so like off rip, it has, oh my god, who is the person producing these? Can we kill him? How are you not dead? I assume you're dead now. Anyways, it's a Spectre that shoots ball lightning, so if you have any hopes of like playing with ball lightning as a minioner, he is your best bet, which is kind of what I wanted to play around with. I have POB'd him in the past, but every single time I've actually taken him like to practice where POB looks good, it just doesn't look. He just doesn't feel as good as his POB would suggest he is. That is a lot of shards. And you are dead? Ooh. Ooh. So far we have 1 fracturing orb and 6 shards. The gold I'm getting from this strat is honestly not even as good as I thought it would be. I don't know why I thought it'd be better. I feel like I've heard Harby Beyond is like really good for gold, but like it is not great. Or maybe I'm just comparing it to like things that are too good, but like I feel like my typical T17 strats do more, which I mean it's T17 to be expected, right? Also, I'm not on 8 modded maps, so maybe that is also creating a problem or two with the gold generation. But I don't think they are in particular dropping any amount of impressive gold just as a baseline, so slash kills. Yeah, we're getting a lot of monsters though. What is our next strat going to be? Now that we have leveled up to level 92, 93, we can play around with other strats, and now we can actually go into like 8 modded maps and all the other things because now we have the levels. What was the idea I thought I had with strands? I think it was like beelining it for something. I don't know. We'll see. For now, I want to try. Nah, I was going to say I want to try a blighted map, but I kind of don't want. I kind of don't want to. What is something we can try? T16s. That'd be good. I think harvest. I think I want to try harvest. I don't want any strat that'll force me into blue altars, but I think I can make harvest work without blue altars. I thought after we do maybe rotations in the Forgotten. That could honestly not be a bad idea, because I'd be doing what Cortex rotations, drop Cortex invitations. They have like bonus to, oh god, if I remember correctly, they have bonuses to XP. So, ooh, divine from you? Don't mind if I do. I think that's the second raw divine I've gotten in this set of 20 maps for doing Harbies. You're doing Harby and June? How are you liking June right now? VODex is 20D right now. My problem with June, right? I don't think her boss fight actually drops. Oh. Who killed me? Was that a Beyond boss? Maybe. I don't think her invitation drops Veiled Exalted Orbs at the rate that I would particularly like, and I don't think her safe houses drop her. You got 6 in a row. 6 Veiled Exalted Orbs or 6 medallions? Because I also don't think her safe houses drop medallions often enough. Exalted Orbs. Fun fact, I've run like 4 or 5 June safe houses or Mastermind Syndicate like safe houses, and I've gotten no Exalted Orbs, not one. 20 safe houses in an hour. So basically you're bossing, right? That's what you're doing. That means that I mean, if you've dropped 6, you're probably making a profit. Like that's 120D, and it takes so many to offset that profit. What is this? Enfeeble enemies take chaos damage. Our AG was eating some nasty hits there. He was doing his best to live, and he was doing a darn good job at it, but like the damage was piling up. Now, why is the damage piling up to the point where it can be problematic? Monster damage and power charges, so there's some crits.
Turn around. I won't ask twice.
Oh, baby.
Can we get more fracturing shards, please? No? Okay. Lol. Wait, why are you running June and Harbies? I just realized it. Harbies increase your time per map, and June really wants you to try to crunch as many hours or have as many maps per hour as possible.
Dead already.
Bruh. AG died, and as soon as AG died, I was like, okay, we're done. What does this map even have? Monster damage, charge, unique bosses. It doesn't seem to have anything that I would consider problematic to the point of, you know. So I don't know. But in any case, let's give our mercenary his chess piece. Wait, what? You are strength int. Why can you not use this? Why? He has strength requirement and int. He is strength. He should be able to use it. He's pure strength. That is not a problem. This is a strength. This requires strength and int. This doesn't make sense. Because this is attribute requirements, not base type. I think I understand what's going on, but this makes zero sense. Here's what's going on to my understanding. Even though this requires strength and int, and he should be able to wear it, I'm almost sure Servant's Robe is programmed as an int base. It has strength requirement, but because the strength requirement is coming from an affix, it is not being recognized as having strength requirement for mercenaries, which makes absolutely zero sense. It is basically being regarded when it comes to mercenary as a pure int chess piece, even though it has strength requirements. This means anybody that has int can use it. Meaning Dex int can use it. Dex int can use it. Strength int can use it. Welcome back.
I mean, I've been here, but I was live, so I was muted. Well, I'm
Okay.
Still, you get the point.
Yeah. So Dex int, strength int, pure int can use this chest. That is dumb. Did you know
Came
even
across my first.
yeah?
No, okay, after you found.
Did you know even though Garb of the Ephemeral requires strength and int, it is actually on for mercenaries it is coded as being pure int.
It's a pure int base.
Doesn't matter. The
Why does it
awarding
not matter?
because in the awarding, it is the requirement for the gear that is being used that matters for the mercenaries. Each mercenary is associated with attributes. Mercenaries will generate gear that matches the attributes they are associated with, and only to equip with armor that matches their attributes in the following ways. For mercenaries with a single attribute, any armor gear that requires that attribute is valid. For mercenary with multiple attributes, any armor that requires an attribute not associated with that mercenary is invalid. So the thing of focus is the requirement. If it requires an attribute, it is valid, and if it doesn't, it is not.
Well, I
Garb of
just
the
assumed
Ephemeral
Garb was a unique modifier, right? It's like Millionaire.
Yeah, but it requires
Not really,
strength. It's an affix,
players.
but it requires strength. Not for players. It has it in the same place everything else has it. It's the same thing with this chest with
Yeah,
its
but it
astral
requires
plate.
that because of the unique modifier.
It doesn't change the
it?
fact that it is because it doesn't change the fact that the awarding says gear for mercenaries is it needs to require the attribute, whether or not that is gotten from an affix or not. It should require it. Like my expectation is if I could make an int base require strength, it should be valid. But there's no way to do that. What am I going to do now? I don't know. It means I need to have someone who can wear int as a mercenary. I don't think kinesis is great.
They can weigh everything. It could be a curse spot.
Kineticist has insane range. I'm using melees. They will not be in range for any
Yeah,
auras.
I'm saying they could be your curse spot.
Kineticist? I mean, this person is giving me determination. If I'm going to be using an int-based mercenary instead, I'm going to need to have determination on myself, which means they need to take an aura from me.
Sag.
Storm Hand is not bad, I guess. Storm Hand is not bad, but like basically, I mean, I'm not losing determination if I just replace something else. Storm Hand is going to give me Wrath and Purity of Lightning, which means I can then. But then here's the problem: it is my Purity of Lightning that gives enemies lightning res, not just any Purity of Lightning. So I need to run Purity of Lightning myself. But yeah, I will just have to figure it out. Gravebind is, I mean, they don't need a Gravebind, thankfully. So whoever my mercenary is that can wear int needs to have some of the following requirements, I guess. They need to be able to properly apply what's the name of that guy? Explode hand Asenat. So they need to have like decent hits, and they need to replace an aura from me. If I had to go kinetics is like haste, which is not bad, but I don't want haste when there are other things that are just as good. In the ideal universe, they won't have a curse, But if they have a curse, it's not a big deal because we give enemies so much res that they should still be capped with it. Like between purity of elements and purity of lightning both affecting enemies, I think they should be fine. So we're looking for a storm hand that has wrath. If we're not getting wrath aura, then we have to get D-term. So yes, literally just either a storm hand or the other guy, the one I was using before already. Fallen Reverend, because he also has wrath. He also has a war cry, but war cries just suck on change of command.
This is potentially an insane map because I've gotten the quant alter 3 times. It's already a 400% quant map. Rage.
Luck. All right, so it looks like we're going for pure ints, Sag, but it's fine. This means storm hands, frost hands. No, we can't go frost hands. No, we can't do that. So yeah, we need a storm hand, is what that means. At least if we're going to use Garb of the Ephemeral. Because it doesn't matter if we have Garb of the Ephemeral or not. If the person is not in range to actually have the allies be in range of that. And if they are ranged and not melee, then they aren't even getting up close and personal to apply the anti-crit portion. Which are both things I was hoping I would be able to do with a melee guy. Who is the most melee strength int guy here? In the way of dex int, there's nobody here that has auras that matter for me. Like, sure, Grace is fine, but meh. I get aspect could be decent as well. Not really. War Priest could be decent, I guess. He has Smite, which would help. He is up close and personal. But he doesn't have Wrath Aura. He has Purity of Lightning. And I can't... He needs to have an Aura of Mine. Which leaves Fallen Reverend. But Fallen Reverend's problem is that he is not actively trying to get up close and personal. He uses Absolution. I could also just drop Wrath Aura, but I'd rather not. Love Flat Lightning. Alright, so I'm looking for a Fallen Reverend or a Storm Hand. Could also be a Smite Aura angle too, so I guess War Priest is not off the table either if I can get Smite and Consecrated Path. Either way, they should all be able to use Garb of the Ephemeral. In the ideal universe, I think War Priest applies Garb's effect the best, so I think we should be shooting for a War Priest. We get War Priests, we shift our All's Uprising to Determination. Actually, no, to Purity of Elements free. Then we run Determination ourselves, which would likely be a worse Determination.
Dropped off mom today.
What'd you say?
I said dropped off my mom today.
Yeah, how did that go?
Good. It is sweet.
I can imagine. We can talk about it later.
Here, please.
Surely it's not something trash again, right? I don't think I've gotten a
This is my
single good
sixth
item
thing of
from
the forest.
lol. Gotten like 3. I don't think I've gotten a single good seer this league. Like a single good, proper good item.
Yeah, it's not good.
How they massacre the seer. This is a more monster life map, I'm realizing. Ooh, reliquary. I will take it. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Okay, buddy, are you gonna die or not? Yeah. I feel like using minion speed on this setup.
I want to
All right, ancient shards. Also, would the question then would be, would the mages survive just as long without endurance charges and whatnot? Because this guy is also providing endurance charges.
beg for death.
All right, what do we have here? Do I care about any decks? I don't think I care about a shatter sword. I will kill this one first.
Do try not to deliberate too long.
Strength decks. So we just exile UA because there's nothing you can give me.
On guard. Delightful death. Oh, this has lacked the proper decorum.
I think Gore is who the div card one. Gore is uniques. That's who Gore is. So B, that is currency. Gore is uniques, and then the Katash, just Katash, the spitty blood demon guy. Do you think you're going to end this? Thank you. All right. And then the last map in the 20 series. That leaves us with about 26 ancient orbs, which, I mean, how many per divine are they going for? 25. So this will probably leave us around almost 2 divines in that. Fracturing orbs, I'll have to price check them. But I'm thinking 6 to 7 divines. At 6 to 7 divines, that means we made like... How much does that mean we made? Like, I want to say 12-ish, 13-ish. In 20 maps. Not bad, but not great either, considering how long these maps can take.
You waste good stock, Exile.
Sheesh. Combs hard, let's go. Oh yeah, I am ignoring the exalts I dropped. I probably dropped a few divines in exalt as well. Like, odds are we're getting pretty close to a divine in map on average, if not more, considering we dropped 2 raw divines as well. But I don't think that had to do with harbingers, so can someone explain to me why my AG is not getting kills? Where is he off to? There we go. And that wasn't making sense. I'm like, yo, my AG, what the fuck is he doing? If he's not getting kills and we're almost getting full on like the secondary sword type.
I'll never wear chains again, tainted or otherwise. Choose quickly.
Well, here's the thing about switching to any of the guys I just mentioned except War Priests. I mean, even War Priests. They all can't use 2-handers, which means... yeah, they can't use 2-handers. So it means we're gonna not be able to use...
Make a call. You die here. Leave you
It means we'll end up not being able...
dead than in
Brother in Christ. Okay. Like, okay. Anyways, it means we're not going to be able to use Kingmaker,
your knees, pig.
which is less than ideal. But I guess we can use shields in that case, and if we can use shields... So what can we replace? I guess if we're going to be losing Kingmaker, we might as well just replace it with like what we had in the last setup, which is maybe, I mean, probably not Aura Effect, maybe Aura Effect, maybe not, but even more so than Aura Effect is Malediction. Malediction as well as Asenath for even more blind. So like that would still be a decent damage increase, even though it's not directly crit multi. And also the same thing for reduced damage, even though it's not directly crit multi.
Beg for death.
I think that's what we're gonna end up doing. For shield, it's probably a Matua angle all the same. I kind of really wanted to use I really wanted to use the Kingmaker for the crit multi and fortification, but I guess fortify is not mandatory. All right, so we made 27, which is almost 2 divines in ancient orbs. Yeah, almost 2 divines. Not quite though. We made almost 7 divines in this. I'll list this for 7 divines, and if it sells, cool. These are oh, you're going for about almost 3 shards a divine. So that means 10 divines give you 30 shards. So yeah, it's cheaper to sell the shards than to sell the orb, which makes sense. We got a bunch of exalts. I don't remember how many. That's like the one I forgot. And then we got like 20 something annals, or as some people call them, anals. All right, now we're done with Harbinger. We do need to change our farming strat, but I don't know what I want to farm yet. But hey, I have the entire weekend to figure it out. Oh, for now, we're going to be ending stream here. I think it feels really good so far. And I'm going to be, what's the word? Oh, here's something I forgot. I forgot the old one here. All right, let's switch that. Convening. Minion damage T2. And trigger. All right, so there is a noticeable DPS increase between the Chaos and the other one, because this is already using the new one. Using my one would be 10.7. All right, so it's like a almost 3 mil DPS increase. So I guess it is worth trying at the very least, seeing if it's a very notable feeling, the increase that is. The only way to increase this physical damage reduction number is, I mean, we already have determination on ourselves, but like a Watcher's Eye would be it. Anyways, all this to say, see you guys on Monday. That's the next time I'm going to be live. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate y'all. Till then, have a good night.